Hey, hi, my name is Dr. Cheryl Meyer, and I help people navigate, look at this background, there's the mountains and stuff. I help people navigate their spiritual awakening, and I almost died yesterday, so I'm quite happy to be alive. Yeah, I was in a car accident, and my car was spinning because it hardly rains here. I'm in California, and it was raining and the road wasn't ready for so much rain. But I was thinking, of course, afterwards, and just being really present. And I was reflecting, not that you're not always going to know what the meaning of something is right after it. Sometimes, like if someone dies or something tragic happens or a breakup or something, you might know 10 years later or 5 years later, or you'll get a higher perspective over time. But I'm already getting some downloads, some intuition. I teach people how to navigate, like I said, through your spiritual awakening, and how to awaken your intuition and learn how to trust your intuition. And in a way, yesterday seemed like an epic battle between my programming, the programming of the egotism, which I represent, like the universal everybody. That's why I don't speak about myself to speak about myself. That's boring, I'm not saying I'm boring. I'm saying, oh, look at dandelion. I'm saying we're all souls in a physical body, and so it's like enlightenment for each of us it's the same direction. It doesn't mean it's up, but it's just let more light in. You're letting more light into your being self. You're becoming of a higher consciousness. Think of like the Buddha or Christ or any of these great teachers. I was reading the Bhagavad Gita the other day, and it was or Obi-Wan, I don't know, you think they're operating from a higher state of consciousness. Like when Yoda says, "Judge me by my size, do you?" He's challenging Luke in a way, and he's saying, why are you looking merely at the externals? That's why a lot of people reject what I do, because they think it's just some, even though I got my doctorate and I've studied psychology and been this for 20 years. I have lots of experience, in the known field, and an author and was on a national radio show host and blah, blah, blah. I seem strange to them because I've slowed down and I'm teaching how to follow your soul instead of your egotism. So let's get a tree. There's the sun. All right, so I want to walk out more. What I was getting, right? And so this can be applied for you, for everybody, is when you follow your programming, that's what you learned to do. Like I tell the story sometimes when I was 4, my sister was born and my parents were at the hospital. My mom was having my little sister. And I don't know how long ago if I've told this story, but my grandfather, they turned off the lights, and my parents always let me have the lights on, right? And so my grandma came in and said, "You better be quiet, and just sleep in the pitch black." Well, my parents weren't there, in a different person's house, or grandpa's going to come in and spank you. And indeed, he did come in and spank the living light out of me, or whatever you want to call it. I remember it, when I was 4, because that's how young my sister is. Because I was afraid of the dark, And so you think as a 4-year-old, and my dad grew up with this man, right? So that's who my dad grew up with. So, but you think for me, so you can see your own programming through this, that I learned to please other people, or else I thought I was going to die. Like yesterday, I thought I was going to die because my car was spinning, hydroplaned. Thank God everyone was okay. But anyway, I lived, but in that moment, I didn't know I was like if I was going to live because it hurt so bad and I was afraid of the dark so much when my grandfather was doing that to me. And so that's kind of like breaking through your own personal boundaries, of he was just mad. I don't know if he got triggered thinking I wanted to waste electricity as a 4-year-old, or that my parents had spoiled me by letting the lights on, or who knows? I don't have to figure out what he's thinking. All I have to know was that's not a response you have to give to a 4-year-old who's afraid of the dark. There's a higher level of consciousness of how he could have taught me whatever he was trying to teach me. It didn't have to be that way. And so, but you can understand and have compassion for me, and I can have compassion for myself, and you can have compassion for yourself that you learned certain ways to behave from the programming. And so egotism, we are a soul and we're living in a body, but people forget that. And we get caught up in the ebb and flow of life where people say, no, you're your personality. I'm Dr. Cheryl Meyer, musician and psychologist, whatever, and it's like, and not very famous YouTube person yet. Doesn't matter. That's my outer personality, and it's like, wow. I'm so happy to be here and to be alive today. Like, I kept saying that when I was eating my lunch because I didn't eat breakfast, and I was like, wow, I can't believe I get another day of doing this, of loving people. And anyway, so don't take life for granted, right? But so when you can be compassionate towards your programming and compassionate towards yourself who took in that programming, I learned right then. It's just like if I had burned my hand on a fire, I would learn not to put my hand on a fire. I learned you better please people when they threaten violence on you or whatever, and it's not a good place to be in, because then you just get intimidated by the wrong things and you think people are going to harm you, and you give them more power as an adult than they have, because you're not a 4-year-old child anymore. You can be like, peace out. Like, I'm out of here. And so yesterday I was trying to get to an appointment, but it had just rained a bunch, and it doesn't hardly rain here in California. And so I had new tires and everything on my tires, and then I spoke to the guy at the auto body shop because my car might be totaled, I don't know. And he said his boss had hydroplaned in that same area. I had already done like yoga and my meditation yesterday morning, so I make a practice of observing, of being present. So there was that. So I knew I didn't have to rush, and I was just looking at the road, and I saw the people in front of me, like, fishtailing a little bit, and I knew you can't push on the brakes. So what do? Like, I just made sure I was at a distance from other cars if anything happened, but I wasn't hoping, obviously, for anything to happen. I just still had enough presence in me. Maybe that's a grace from the divine or whatever, or it's like the last 5 years I've been meditating every day. I had enough presence to go, it doesn't matter what else is happening. I need to get off of this freeway. It's a freeway because other cars are coming, and I didn't want anyone to get hurt. And so I was asking God, divine love, today. I was like, what can we learn from this? What can other people know, so that, one is that if I was too leaning on this side, concentrating on pleasing other people, and like, I can't be late, or this person will reject me, this woman that I was meeting, or she'll get all mad at me or whatever, then I could have been speeding, and I was going with the flow of traffic, right? And so on the one hand, I did feel that urgency, but I was trying to be present. Oh, it's 10:21 just happened. That's Elliot died on 10:21, and so I often see it. I saw it this morning. I saw 10:22, which is an indication to me that you just got right past this crossroads. You will have crossroads in your life. I'm not saying that this was a test, but I'm saying, had I not developed enough presence, I wouldn't have been present enough. Because the cop even said when he came, he's like, look, a lot of people just freeze in that situation, and cars hit them and they get hurt too because they don't think to get off. Now this other guy and me got off, and we were on opposite sides of the road, and I was sending him love. I felt so bad for him, you know, because I don't want anything like traumatic to happen to other people, right? But it just showed me, it was showing me, because if you look at it on a mystic level, you'll see something in everything. That, you know, you staying in your programming and operating out of fear, or me operating out of fear that my grandfather or someone like him, even though I'm all these years older, like at least 15 years older, I'm kidding, a lot more than that, if I'm still living in this old programmed primal brain fear that he's going to come spank me if I don't read his mind and figure out what he wants, not what I was taught by my parents, because he wanted the lights off, my parents thought it was okay, you know, and try to figure out what people want and give them that, then I'm operating out of fear and I'm trying to please them, and I'm not being my authentic self. I'm being a pleaser, you know. It's love other people, treat other people as you would wish to be treated. So of course, when I thought of other people, I'm like, I want to love other people. I don't want anyone to get hurt. I'm getting off the freeway, going to the side, no matter how hard it is, right? Then I can do that, right? I can be loving, and you can always be loving, but that's different than operating from a pleasing place. And one other thing I wanted to say with this is I kept seeing it. I was seeing Empire Strikes Back the other day, and so I was my friend's coming to meet me. She's in town from Canada. I love her. Anyway, so I was watching Empire Strikes Back the other day, and Luke saw a vision of Leia and Han being in harm's way, and so he's like, I have to go save them. And Yoda was like, but you know, then you're not finishing your Jedi training here. Wherever he was, not Tatooine, but wherever he was, maybe it was there. Anyway, and he's like, well, I don't want to sacrifice Han and Leia. And he's like, then you might be sacrificing what they're not, you're not honoring what they're fighting for. If they're fighting for something bigger, something more beautiful, something more profound, something that will enlighten the whole world, then you staying committed to your Jedi training will help them the most, because they're also fighting for that same thing. Now, I know this may seem like really deep or something, but go here with me is like, understand that there's a bigger cause for the discipline that you put in every day. Like me doing yoga is not me just doing yoga. It's practicing getting in hard poses, difficult poses, you know, taking deep breaths and being calm in the middle of those difficult poses when I'm like, I think I need to call someone, I think I need to go do an email or whatever, you know. You being present in those, for me doing that the past 2.5 years is probably what helped save my life, besides guardian angels, you know, yesterday, and gave me this day to come before you and be present with you and love you in this capacity. And so it seems like, oh, I'm just doing yoga and it's like I should be working more or whatever. It's like, no, it's work. Your spiritual discipline is work, and it's bringing love to other people. And anyway, Luke went and got his friends anyway, but and it all worked out, but just by the hair. Like he might not have had to do that. I saw yesterday was like the balance between the yin and the yang. All right, I love you guys so much. Share.